A warm welcome to Anuradha Vedic Astrology. Today we are going to talk about Scorpio sign. But before that, a big thanks to all of you for writing, sharing and subscribing to our YouTube and Spotify channels and writing in your suggestions and your comments there. If you haven't subscribed to us, please do. And do remember to press the bell icon so that you can get the updates ASAP. Whenever we talk about Scorpio, the first thing that one feels is, oh my God, or oh no, not the scorpions. They induce a sense of awe or a sense of fear. Because the only thing that we can think about with respect to the scorpions is the Scorpio animal, which can sting you, bite you and can move into Olivian, giving you no chance to retaliate. Well, this sign of Scorpio is a jelly sign and you may feel that it's all dark and secretive out there. Not really so. The sign of Scorpio is also represented by a huge golden eagle. And the eagle, as we know, soars up high in the sky, and not just that, it also soars up over those clouds, flying above the thunderstorms or going with the pressure such that it doesn't feel that intense thunderstorm, the intense nature of the pressure that all the other beings do. Essentially, it's a very smart, very intelligent animal and the one with a great eyesight. Just like the scorpion, the eagle is also capable of pouncing at the right time to take its enemy unawares. Being a predator, it knows how and when to strike exactly to make a killing. The eagle has an eyesight which is uncomparable and a dare or a courage to even go and pounce on animals which are huge in size, and it's unafraid, unapologetic, royal, regal in its behavior. This eagle teaches us so much to understand from it and to put it in practice in our lives. If we keep these qualities of the eagle in mind, to be daring, to be courageous, to have a foresight, to have an eyesight that can see things from a distance that no other being on this planet can, and so many other points we can see as to how it pans out, the sign of Scorpio pans out for all the lagnas, because in every lagna the Scorpio sign sits in a different house. To begin with the Aries lagna. It's your 8th house. You would have found that doing research is something very common for you, but being able to touch lofty heights in your research, how many of us could have said that or could have done that? Well, that's possible if you behave, if you work on the trends of the eagle. You might find a lot of problems coming your way, but you need to rise above those problems and you will find directions very easily. Talking about your unearned wealth or talking about the investments that you could have made in your gratuity and all those things, you have to have the eagle's eye here. You should be able to have a long foresight and should be able to connect with things at a very early age. Start investing from a outlook of a long foresight and you will see that you can make a killing with those investments. You would be able to understand exactly how and when you will get your hereditary property, especially if it's under litigation, by close observations. Your relationship with your in-laws can be under scrutiny. It can bring you problems, but if you learn not to see it as a problem but as a challenge, you can overcome it, and what more, you can be victorious, or rather should I say, you will have earned a lot of name and fame. let's move forward for the Taurus Lagna. For the Taurus Lagna, it's your second house. Second house talks about your public appearance, it talks about your partners, and it also talks about your people you know very well and your private partners also. So they can be secretive, but they can also have high ambitions in life. They can want to move up to great heights, and they are unafraid about what they or who they are. And what more, they can get you deals, they can get you those kind of business where you might have thought would be impossible or impractical to go into. But these people know it very well how to handle these situations, and they move deep down, know exactly when to hit and get the catch. So in one sense, if you have business partners who are like that, then you are good to go, great to go, because then they will help you make a killing and get a name and fame in life that none others could have got. Your partners, private partners, that is your relationships, can also show very enigmatic and regal kind of a spouse towards whom you can have a very strong sense of attraction. Let's talk about the sign of Gemini. For the Lagna of Gemini, this is your 6th house. It can talk about the way you look at your enemies, or it can talk about your enemies also. So, and it can also talk about your food habits. To begin with, you may make enemies of those people who are very high up on that strata, or you would not be afraid to take your enemies head on. You can feel that yes, they may be more stronger than me, but I have it within me to overcome those challenges. When we talk about eating habits, when we talk about the way we look at food, then it is very important to know that the eagle never consumes food which is left behind by others. It hunts a fresh prey. So you would always want to consume food. Why do I say food here? Because generally we would say that food is ruled by the 2nd house. Well, it is also talking about it is also your 6th house talks about your food habits also in general. And it also talks about your digestive power. So you are the one who would be very much wanting to put in fresh food in your system. One that's either cooked well enough and has been nearly cooked recently, and you have a health conscious way to look at things, to think about things. And rogue, eagles have it within them to soar up high. They do not live for a long period of time once they have contracted certain issues. So here you need to be careful about. Let's talk about Cancer Lagna. For the Cancer Lagna, it's the 5th house. It shows your intelligence and it shows the kind of children you have. Your children can be very unapologetic about whatever they do. They can soar to great heights in school, in their performances. They can go out of their box and what others think to understand certain fundamentals, and they can make that extra mile to their learning, which will get them a good result. Also, because they are unafraid, because they are adventurous, they will be able to conquer a lot of territory. What about your intelligence? Because that's your house of intelligence also. Practical application. All that you have learnt in theory works very well in practical, but you will go that extra mile to apply it in a different manner, see how it works, and then soar right up there, because you know you would have done justice to it. And just like your children, you yourself as a child were unafraid to test waters which had never been charted before. in terms of income, you would always invest in those companies which at this moment may show a lot of turbulence. Because you would have understood that these very companies, when they come to a certain state of stability and power, will have put you at not just at par with others but way above others, because you would have then made a good killing. In terms of your investment, you have a foresight that very few do. Let's talk about the Singha Lagna or the Leo Lagna. For the Leo Lagna, it's the 4th house. You're very possessive about your house, about your children. You like a solitary existence. You don't make a home in a place where there's a lot of hustle bustle. And even because we are living in societies, we are living in big cities, you would want to live in a place where there is peace. And at home, one of your major requirement is peace. Even about your home, just like the hawk or the eye, you're very careful about things. You wouldn't want anything out of place at your home also that irritates you to the core, and you want everything picture perfect. Now let's talk about the kind of home or the bank balance that you have. You're very circumspect, very secretive about your bank balance. You don't invite anyone and everyone home, and nobody dare turn up at your place without an invitation. Let's talk about the bank balance. People are not aware where you have, what kind of bank balance you have, and you're very happy with that attitude. Let's talk about the Virgo Lagna. For the Virgo Lagna, it falls in your 3rd house. The 3rd house is the house of oratorship. It's your house of creativity. It's your house of courage. All the things that we know and we've heard so far is what the eagle signifies. You have a voice which can be heard from a distance, and people are afraid. So when you are in your element, 3rd house is also anger, and if you are in your element, people are afraid of you. Another thing that you will find, it's you wanting to make an impact only where and when necessary. People can see you soaring, but you are not on an interactive mode. So you don't interact on a basis which is very regular. You like to maintain your own company. You could be your own best friend. The 3rd house also talks about courage, and there is no dirt in your life about courage. Why? Because the eagle is supposed to be one of the courageous people and courageous beings, animal, and can pounce on those bigger than it, lower than it, without much ado. So you can lock horns with people depending on the time and not the kind of people that there are. Your opposition actually doesn't matter for you. What matters is the matter of principle and such things. So let's talk about the Libra Lagna. For the Libra Lagna, it's the 2nd house of avaran, or getting name and fame. For the Libra Lagna, it's about your wealth which you have accumulated. The Libra Lagna people can have wealth which is accumulated over a period of time, but they still prefer to keep working for their living. They want to have as much as possible and work as much as possible. It's not the money that brings in the thrill, it's the work that brings in the thrill. It's the adventure associated with the work that brings in the thrill. The 2nd house is avaran, as I said. It also means the respect, the name and fame that you get in society. So you are well known, you are well respected in society because you want to do things that can actually make you stand out, and you're capable of it. Just don't go into that whole thinking you're a scorpion, not to be seen, just to be felt. You are also that eagle that soars up high. And the best example here that I can give you is that of Margaret Thatcher. Margaret Thatcher and Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji, both of them being the first in their approach to do things. Margaret Thatcher, the Iron Lady, was the first female to become the Prime Minister of UK, And Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji was the first person to become the Prime Minister of India apart from the Congress. So, he belonged to the BJP. You have the ability to get that height if you set your mark for it. Let's talk about the Scorpio Lagna. Well, for the Scorpio Lagna, you are the eagle. Soar up high. You will always find that people who are Scorpions or have Scorpio Lagna have the ability to go high up in the skies. Why so? Because it's an inbuilt, innate nature that they have, and they are regal, they are majestic, they are awe-gathering people. Wherever that you go, you may not be the life of the party like the Leos are, but you are definitely one that people look up to and people respect by the sheer strength of your presence. So that is the Scorpio Lagna for you. Let's talk about the Sagittarius Lagna. For the Sagittarius Lagna, this is your 12th house, and the 12th house is the house of travels. The 12th house is the house of generosity, giving. Well, when we talk about the ability to give and to be generous, Sagittarius Lagna people are that. And what more, the Sagittarius people love to travel. They love to go into big journeys where they can have a lot of adventure, and they can also find new things. They're very observant about new things. And we always thought it was because of the senator. Now we know it's also because of the eagle. As far as investments are concerned, because the 12th house is also the house of investment. As I said about the Cancer Lagna, I repeat about the Sagittarius Lagna. Your investments can seem to be in a rough weather at the moment, but you would be making a killing on the long run because you would know how to tide that rough weather very well. Let's talk about the Capricorn Lagna. The Capricorn Lagna, the sign of Scorpio falls in your 11th house. So what do you gather from it? Well, I would say that I can very well associate it with my gains. And we know how much the Capricorn Lagna people love their gains. They are ready to pounce on their gains any time. They want to be, they are said to be social climbers. And we always thought that it is the nature of the Capricorn, the Makara, to be a social climber. No, it is that eagle in your 11th house, which says that you have to be higher up. Not only that, that eagle brings in, climbs a lot of altitude, and it makes the best of the catches. So the 11th house, which also talks about your promotion, you want the best promotion possible. And you're not looking into a field that will take you away from what is the current situation. In your current field, in the way things are developing, you want to be part of the now and want to have a major share there. Do write in your comments. Let's talk about the Aquarius Lagna. It's about the profession. And you will see that professions soar up for such people. You will see that they have to be the epitome of their profession. You can look into Kajol's chart. She is Aquarius Lagna, came to the highest of her profession, and she did not stop there because the mere adventure is thrilling for the eagle. The ability to conquer higher heights, newer terrain is so much in its domain. Its need to be private is there, but that's for its home. That is for the Leo Lagna in the 4th house. But for the Aquarius Lagna, the 10th house has to be the zenith, the best that there is. And you will find that for people with Aquarius Lagna, they can be highly ambitious because that is what they want to do. Conquer new territories unapologetically and without fear. Finally, the Lagna that is supposed to be very peaceful, that is the Pisces. For the Pisces Lagna, they will not find peace in their research. They will not find peace till they have visited a lot of tirthas. That is, they have visited a lot of holy places. Why? Because the Scorpio sign falls in the 9th house. They can have a father or a father figure, a guru, who has a hawk-like nature, always observant. You are always in look of an opportunity where you can do good for others. You can search new things, especially if people have a strong connect with Jupiter or Rahu. Then that allows you to search, dig deep all the more with your 9th house. So, this is how the sign of Scorpio works with regard to the golden eagle in all the lagnas. And it's so profound that if you put it in your charts, you will find a lot more things coming out, and you can probably write to us, let us know how it works for your
Please hit the bell
lagna.
icon for fresh updates. Don't forget to like, share, and comment on the videos, and please subscribe to our channel.